So ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you to the College DuPage on behalf of our president, Dr. Anne Rondeau, and our board of trustees. We want to welcome you to SRC 2000. And we definitely have a big event planned for this evening. This is our second, I don't want to say annual because we skipped a year, but our second annual, because hopefully we'll continue to do this year after year, second annual COD pitch contest. So first of all, give you guys a hand for coming. We have some great stuff going on tonight, some great students from here on college campus, College DuPage students, but also our local high school students who are going to be demonstrating and pitching their products. But before we get things kicked off by introducing our distinguished judge panel, we have our distinguished president, Dr. Anne Rondeau, here to open us up. So Dr. Rondeau, will you please do us justice here? Thank you so much.
Good evening. What a great evening. You know, this is also a brand newly renovated room. So it's great to have all of you here this evening celebrating this pitch contest. And I'm going to pay attention to what you all are going to pitch because it will be great ideas. And we want you to also know that we as a college and under Peter James' leadership, we truly believe that ideas and creation matter. That not only the ideas from your own thinking, but from how you then translate those thoughts and ideas into real things. That's magic. That's skill, and that is just terrific. So on this second annual, we're going to continue to do this. We're doing some wonderful things in entrepreneurship, innovation, and I'm deeply grateful to Peter James for being a leader on this campus and with us this evening. Let's have some fun. Thank you.
Definitely, I cannot take any of the credit for all of this. I have to give our due to Bev Carlson. Bev, can you wave in the back of the room? Bev is our program director for our business and technology division, and she is the brains behind the entire pitch contest. So there is no me without her. So Bev, thank you. So let's give Bev a hand if we could. So let's get things kicked off right now as well. But we're going to do so by introducing our judge panel. So this is very Shark Tankish. So in other words, these are the sharks right here. So I'm going to give the sharks an opportunity to introduce themselves. Just give us a quick overview of who they are and tell us a little bit about their businesses. Nothing super long, but thank you so much for the volunteering for this or being voluntold. But thank you so much for opportunity. Ellie, let's get kicked off, and thank you so much. And there's a mic for you.
Hi, my name is Ellie Crawford, and I own a company called Small Pets & Company, which sells cage ladders for small animal cages on Amazon Prime and my own website. I was a COD student for 2.5 years, and I loved it here. And instead of transferring, I chose to try out working full-time on growing my business. And so I'm also an Infusionsoft certified partner, and right now I'm really focused on implementing marketing automation into my business.
I want to interrupt real quick. Ellie was our first COD pitch contest winner. So Ellie, thank you so much for coming back to being part of our presentation here today. Thank you.
All right, my name is Sarah Troyer. I am the program coordinator over at the Small Business Development Center at the College of DuPage Center for Entrepreneurship. Little bit brief background on myself. I started my first company when I was 14. I sold that when I was 19 in Arizona. It was a residential and commercial cleaning business. I transitioned, got through college, started working at a business incubator. Been working with startups ever since, and now I'm over at the Center for Entrepreneurship. Our center helps clients for free. We're grant funded thanks to a great partnership with the College of DuPage, who graciously hosts us. We allow businesses and potential business owners to come in and develop their business alongside us, and we can advise every step of the way from really the ideation phase through the entire life cycle of the business. So that's what I do. It's open to the community, everybody you know, and we are always looking for more very excited entrepreneurs to sort of come on board, join our team, and become clients with us. So thanks for the opportunity.
Good afternoon. My name is Jeff Schuler. I'm the superintendent from Wheaton-Warrenville, District 200. So Ellie, as I was learning today in our introduction, probably should be graduating from one of our high schools here coming up at the end of this year, but you already heard the introduction about what she's already doing at age 18, having spent a couple of years here and launching a business. So District 200, obviously we are a K-12 school district in the area, but recently, as a few other high schools have done, launched the business incubator program out of our high schools. And so I think it's a great opportunity to introduce students to the thought process around design thinking and the incubation of an idea. And certainly I wish that it had been available 2 years ago when you were still with us and in and around District 200, but it is an opportunity that's now available to students. And actually we've introduced a version of it that comes all the way down to the elementary level to get students thinking about that process, kind of continues in the 8th grade opportunity to advanced thinking, and then all the way into the high school where the actual incubator program exists. So happy to be here.
Hi, I'm Chris Fay. I serve as the Dean of Business and Technology here at College of DuPage. So while officially entrepreneurship is kind of housed in our division, part of my role is to help spread the word across campus and to engage students and faculty in all different areas because, you know, much as Jeff said, as they're trying to spread that throughout the high school and down into the elementary school, Professor James will tell you it's very much about an entrepreneurial mindset. How flexible, how adaptable are you? How can you take something that you're excited about and find a need? It's all about filling that need that someone will pay for. And I've worked with Sarah and her colleagues for years and years, and so I'm thrilled to be here today. Thanks.
Good evening. My name is John Ness. I'm the general counsel at the college here. That means I'm the in-house lawyer. But don't worry, I'm not going to be a lawyer tonight. Insert lawyer joke here, Peter. So my business background is very, very limited. I'm not going to come to this from a business background, but I think one of the important things about a presentation like this is how the contestants, how the people giving the pitch make their message, communicate their message. That's a big part of everything that people do in a lot of different areas. So one thing I do know how to look at is how's your presentation? Are you bringing your argument, for lack of a better term, with clarity? Are you making your point? Are you making it succinctly and logically? So I hope to bring some of that tonight, and I'm really happy to be here and looking forward to it. Thanks very much, Professor.
Thank you so much. We have a diverse group of judges, so thank you, judges, for being a part of this. So, now is the time. Now is the time. But before we get started, our judges are not the only people that can vote today. So if you look in your programs, you also have a green sheet. And on that green sheet, you are able to log on and be a voter in this second annual COD pitch contest. So let your voice be heard and let these pitch contestants really reflect what you guys are going to vote. So thank you so much for taking part of that also. And without further ado, Matt Hammerly will be our first contestant.
Well, my name is Matt Hammerly, and I do a clothing line, and it's called the Phi Concept. And so we are a pineapple lifestyle clothing brand. And so these are the designs that we have for the brand. We have a collection called Pineapple. And pineapple means pineapple human, and I'll get to what the meaning means after this slide. This is the back of the other shirt. How did we start? So it all started back in high school, and me and my best friend, we met in gym class, and we decided that it would be a good idea to start our own clothing line because we were pretty ambitious at the time, and we wanted to just get out of our comfort zone. So we decided, we browsed around like a bunch of ideas, and one idea kept in mind, and it was pineapple. And what does pineapple mean to us? Why are there pineapples on our shirts? Pineapple to us means a sign of welcoming, a sign of friendship, a sign of warmth. And with our brand, and even myself, I want to carry those characteristics along in my life, and I want to inspire other people to be the same. What does pineapple mean? Why are there pineapple humans on our shirt? So that's actually what pineapple means, pineapple human. And so what pineapple human is it's kind of like an ideal representation on how life should be lived. Life should be lived without limitations. And without limitations, you're able to put your unique gift out to the world. And our unique gift is sharing our story, and these stories are personal stories that we've been through with my friends. Like this one right here, this one is like, we went on vacation our senior year of high school, and it was one of the best memories that we've ever been on. And as a company, we want to inspire other people to share their own unique story, because everyone has their unique way of living. Our target audience is mainly men and women in high school, in college, in Naperville. Like I used to go to Mattia Valley High School, and it was really good there. And because of social media, we were able to reach people all across the world. And we have people wearing our stuff in like Belize, Europe, Switzerland, China, and many other places. And we want to expand all across the world so everyone can share their unique story to the world. And our competition, brands like Johnny Cupcakes, Young and Reckless, and Rip and Dip, they kind of do sort of the same, like Johnny Cupcakes, they have cupcakes. And so our niche is pineapple. And our unique advantage with all this is that there is nobody who has a pineapple lifestyle clothing brand. We're the only pineapple lifestyle clothing brand there is. And the reason why we're special is because our art syndicates, it's like, it kind of personalizes the human being. Even though it's like one design for all, everyone can relate to it in some way, because we all like to go on like vacations. We all like to drive fast cars. We all like to go have fun. We all like to see beautiful skylines. So everyone can relate to it. And how do we make money? So by three things: social media, word of mouth, and our website. And so we get most of our traffic, most of our sales from social media, because we post on there like all the time. We have very engaging content, so it's awesome. And what will we use this money for? A lot of things. We want to grow our company to the biggest possible. We want to get into stores. We want to be the best clothing brand there is today. And we want to invest in a new merch, because, you know, like holidays, like Christmas, Halloween, 4th of July, that would be so awesome. And we also want to advertise to new locations and new people across the world. And doing that, we're able to have people share their stories from all across the world, because we live in a very diverse community across the world. Because my best friend is Indian, and my other best friend is Filipino, so I'm able to see so many different cultures within the world. It's so awesome. And so, yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Matt. So Matt, if you can stand by for a few minutes, our distinguished judge panel, I'm sure, has questions for you.
I'm ready.
Have you trademarked this at all?
Yes, so our designs are trademarked. So we actually had a guy on, so where we came up with the designs, we hired a guy on Fiverr, and we had the idea of, like pineapple and like the designs, and he kind of created the artwork. So we did trademark it, yeah.
But why only Naperville? You said you mentioned on
Right,
your site you have Naperville there, but then you
yeah.
also have reached, you
Right.
have people wearing your clothes in different
Yeah.
countries. So why so
Naperville,
specific?
since we went to school, we actually went to school in Mattia, and since we started in high school, we were able to promote it to the people that went to our high school, and high schools nearby, like Naperville Central, Naperville North, Wabanzi, Niqua, and we wanted to focus on those schools locally because the thing is, you kind of want to start out locally because when you start out locally, you get a reputation for yourself. And then once you get a reputation yourself locally, then you move, the whole city. And once you get known the whole city, then it's nationally. And then that's when we, get into stores and everything like that.
So Matt, what kind of sales growth have you seen over the last 6 months, year?
Yeah. So we actually took a break about 6 months ago. And we kind of revamped it up. Like we started our social media about 6 months ago, and we had like literally 0 followers. And so from that time, from 6 months to now, we're able to do around $500 to $1,000 a month, steady. So, and we're doing that by advertising, social media, big time, because we have over 2,000 followers on our social media. And so we're just trying to grow our social media page so we can actually advertise organically, not have to invest so much money into advertising and just have natural growth.
So you gave us a range of $500 to $1,000 a month in terms of revenue growth. Can you give me that in terms of like actual shirts sold?
Yeah, so our shirt cost is $10. And so it's around 50 shirts a month, 50 to 100 shirts a month, around there. Yeah. So yeah, our shirts are $10 and our hoodies are $15. Okay. And then we have crew necks, which are $20.
And are those primarily new customers or return customers?
Mixture of both, because we have made new apparel, and so those repeating customers have bought the new apparel because it started off with just the bar, like the bar design and vacay, and so we reinvested into more apparel, and so we got these 2 designs. So doing that, we have had new business from new customers and also repeat business from the past customers who bought the old apparel. So.
Matt, what are your profit margins then? Because if you sell for $10,
Greatly. So our shirt cost is around $2. We order in like bulk for our shirts, and so with printing costs too, like we actually used to like print it in house. Like we had the heat press, we had all the equipment, and it was just like so much work, and we would end up like messing up on the shirts, and so it was a total disaster. And so what we did was we found outsourcers, we found printing suppliers, we found shirt suppliers. And so by doing that, we had to pay just a little more, but it was worth it in the long run because it's way better quality. The quality is impeccable. And so yeah, $2 for the shirt and then another $2 for the printing costs. And then they ship it back, and basically, like we've done promotions where we do like a free shirt and you just had to pay for shipping. Shipping's $10 and we're still able to make good profit. So,
Matt, question for you. So I'm trying to understand better who is the kind of person who wants to buy a pineapple themed shirt and why, as opposed to say an avocado or something like that. So can you tell me a little bit more about why there's going to be a market out there that's more than just somebody saying, oh, that looks kind of cool, I'm going to buy a pineapple.
Right, yeah. To us, like a pineapple has a deep significance to it. Like we didn't just put like a pineapple on a shirt just because it's a pineapple. Because to me, I love pineapple. I think it's such a tasty fruit. And also like the pineapple, it signifies its deep significance actually means warm, welcoming, and friendship. And I totally abide by those qualities, and I look for those qualities in other people, and I want to inspire other people to, have those qualities because I love meeting new people. I love exploring new cultures because, like I said, like my best friend, he's Indian. Like he introduced me to Indian food. Like I said, like everyone has their own unique way of living. And I find it so interesting to explore the unknown that I haven't explored yet. And so by doing that, I feel like pineapple is a very good symbolization of that.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give Matt Hammerly a hand. Thank you, Matt. Jonathan Arnold and Jack Young will be presenting on their concept, ground coffee compost soil. Gentlemen, the floor is yours.
54% of all Americans over the age of 18 drink coffee on a daily basis. Now you might ask, what happens to all the coffee grounds after they're done being brewed? That's where we come in. I'm Jack.
I'm Jonathan.
And we're Ground Coffee. Each year, households waste 40% of the produce they buy from the grocery store, along with the 146 billion cups of coffee that were sold in the US alone last year. We found a perfect source for our material.
So with those two problems in mind, we came up with our first product, a 1 cubic foot bag of our all-natural composted soil, which will be priced at $13.99 as our main source of revenue. Now, in order to validate this product, we set out a survey, and from that survey, we gathered that 85% of people had an interest in our product and would buy a composted soil from the store. But you may be asking yourself, what's so special about our product when you compare it to other brands such as Scott's Miracle-Gro? Well, the thing is, our product is 100% recyclable, it's composted, and it's made with coffee grounds, which repels pests. For our customer segment, we're aiming towards homeowners ages 35 through 55 who either like gardening, have a spot to garden, or are environmentally friendly. Additionally, in the future, we're aiming towards lawn care services so they can use our product on their customers' lawns. Now, in order to reach these customers, the first route is through stores such as Ace Hardware and Wanamaker's in Downers Grove. And through Facebook ads and physical flyers, we could drive those customers to the stores where they can buy the product physically. Now, our second route to customers is through our website, and through using YouTube videos and Facebook ads, we can drive customers to our website where they will either be able to purchase our product personally or select a lawn care service to use our product on their lawn. In terms of our financials, our total addressable market is about 62.2 million people, or $5.96 billion, and this is based off of homeowners in the United States who have a lawn and don't have lawn care service. Now, if you look at our serviceable addressable market, that's around 28.85 million people, or 2.76 billion people. And this is further narrowed down to homeowners in the Midwest who, once again, have a lawn but don't get lawn service. And finally, our market share is around $14.5 thousand, or $276,000. And with that, that's narrowed down further to Naperville and people who would, in Naperville, buy a composted soil from the store to use in their garden.
So when it comes to competitors, as you probably know, our biggest competitor is Scott's, who owns Miracle-Gro and Roundup, along with another company named Vigoro. Unfortunately, all three of these companies use a chemical known as glyphosate, which is a known carcinogen that the EPA has strict guidelines on. However, the closest thing to our product is people who compost on their own or in their backyard. The only thing different between our product and yours is our additive of coffee grounds, and we bring the convenience to you so you don't have to go through the 4 to 6 month grueling composting process. So as you can see, this is one of our tests of our soil versus Miracle-Gro. We were growing leeks, and this is about after 3 to 4 weeks of growth. It was scientific, so everything was the same: water, sunlight. It grew in the same spot. I promised there are seeds in the Miracle-Gro one. But as you can see, our soil grew the plants much nicer than the Miracle-Gro soil. For contacts, our biggest one is the Resiliency Institute, which is based out of McDonald Farm in Naperville, and their suburban permaculture group. Jody Trendler from there actually has helped us understand the composting process and how to make it the most efficient for us. Along with Jennifer Wanamaker from Wanamaker's in Downers Grove, she's kind of held our hand and talked us through the process of getting into a store, so hopefully we'll be in their store come this spring. So when it comes to our materials for making our product, we've talked to Starbucks, Dunkin' Donuts, and Whole Foods. We collect produce, or their shrink of produce, which is produce that falls on the floor or has something wrong with it, from Whole Foods that they give to us for free, and we compost it into the soil. And then our additive of coffee grounds, we get from post-brewed coffee from Dunkin' Donuts and Starbucks, who also give us their product for free.
So for the next step in our business, we need about $5,000. And with this, we'll be growing our business in multiple ways, some of which are expanding our composting process, which will take about $1,000. And with this, we'll be able to up our production, make it more convenient for us and the customer for faster times, and it'll be better equipment overall. The second thing we want to do is Facebook ads, and for 120 days, which will take us all the way to spring when we start selling our product, it'll be about $1,200 for that. for 500 views a day. And the last thing we want to do is come spring, we want to sell our product in a farmer's market alongside stores such as Ace Hardware and Wanamaker's. And for a season pass at the farmer's market, it'll cost about $250.
So why let these perfectly good sources go to waste when they could be put to really effective use? We're Ground Coffee, and we're here to wake up your plans.
Gentlemen, tell me about the physical space where you are operating right now.
Okay, so we are operating out of our greenhouse in Naperville North. So right now we have two composters working, constantly tumbling right now, and we check on it every once in a while. We also have a couple more composters on the way already. We ordered 4 more to kind of start scaling a little more.
And as you scale, how many composters can Naperville North handle?
That's something we've been looking into. So we've been looking into spaces to start composting elsewhere for like when we start scaling majorly, because we believe that Naperville North, like with the space we're provided from our agriculture teacher, is we could probably fit 5 of our composters, and we have another 4, so we have 6 total composters. So we are looking for space. We also compost in our garages or our backyards. Johnny has a huge composter in his backyard where his family throws waste into. So yeah.
The only thing we have to look for, though, is the spaces we find can't be outside, because with compost, it has to be a climate-controlled space. So that's proving to be probably the hardest thing right now, is to find a space for composting outside of school.
How long is the composting process again?
So it's 4 to 6 months, depending on how we do it. But after talking to Jody Trendler, we've been able to narrow it down to 4 months on the dot, basically. So 4 months for us.
So what plans do you have? Let's say you get a large influx of orders. What plans do you have to not have, let's say you can't fill the orders. What are you going to do to avoid having disappointed customers go somewhere else?
So basically, we've actually been like kind of taking pre-orders or interest on our website right now. So we've been starting to direct people to our website where they can say they're interested in our product. So then those people, or the early adopters, if you will get them their product first, and then from there put it in the stores and at the farmer's market.
So once it's finished composting, what's the lifespan of it once it is ready for use?
So initially, the best way to do it is like right away, which is when the coffee grounds are most have the highest density of nitrogen and carbon, which are like the main things plants need to grow along with phosphorus. But for like, it doesn't really decline unless you're like leaving in your garage or somewhere for like a extended like 8 months or 6 months. So like after you buy it, if you use it in the next couple months, it will contain like the same properties.
In terms of scaling, so composting obviously takes a while, but then when you have an influx of orders, is what you get from Whole Foods right now, what you source, is that going to be enough to sustain a large volume? Are you going to have to find more partners in that sense, and where do you plan on finding them?
So another part that we've been looking into, and we don't know if we're going to 100% do it yet, is residential pickup. So you we supply like a garbage bin, and it would be like almost a waste collection side of our business, where we'd collect their produce waste and their coffee grounds if they want to supply like that part of it, to help supply the scalability of the business.
Also, with the problem of scalability, for the first 1 or 2 selling seasons, we'll have to put a limit on how much on our website, because it'll be the problem on our website, because we can give stores a certain amount, but for our orders online, we'll just have to put a limit on it, maybe a live counter online of how much compost is left. Because really the best time to make our compost during the winter, so we have it ready for spring, so we can just add the coffee grounds to it and then sell it. So after that runs out, we can do what we can to continually supply compost with newer batches, but that's going to eventually run out too before the end of the season. So we'll have to have a live counter on our website.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give Jonathan and Jack a hand. All right, ladies and gentlemen, again, Maria Murga with Affirmation Shirts. Maria, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Hello, judges. This is my business pitch. The loneliest people are the kindest. The saddest people smile the brightest. The most damaged people are the wisest, and all because they do not wish to see anyone suffer the way they do. This quote perfectly defines me, the reason, and my purpose of my business. And before I go into details about my business, I want to explain to you who my target market is. My target market are women who range in ages from 15 to 35. These women can be segmented into two categories. We have category A, who range from 15 to 22. And these women are high school or college age girls, and they struggle with low self-esteem, confidence, bullying, body image. The women in category B, they range in ages from 23 to 35, and they are the result of the women in category A. All these women are hurt, they're broken, they're vulnerable, they're minorities, they're single moms, they have been in toxic relationships or in failed marriages. Their image of themselves doesn't measure up to society's standards, and because of the trauma they have endured, they have a distorted image of themselves. These women are me. I want to be the change I desperately needed. This is where my product comes in, affirmation shirts. My shirts are cute, fashionable, appealing, and based on biblical principles. My shirts are inspired by the verse found in Ephesians 6:11 that talks about wearing God's armor. The heart of my product and how I plan on affirming these women is through a letter that you each have received. And these letters explain the meaning and the biblical concept that inspire the quotes on these shirts. My competitors in the industry are Spiritual, Gangster, and Threadless. They're both in the printing shirt business, amongst other products, in which they focus more on the product. Both of these companies have great catchy sayings and pictures in their shirts, but none of these products are to uplift their customers. My product differs because I care about the consumer, and my goal is to cater to their hearts and their emotional well-being. Unlike my competitors, who are already established businesses, mine is just a business plan. I didn't do this alone. I had a great team to donate their time and resources to develop these prototypes before you. Because they either were this type of woman or because they work closely with these women. They believe in me and understand my target market. They see the value, the need, and understand the purpose. If you allow me to win, I'll be able to launch my business, drop costs by 33 to 35%, increasing my profit margin between 10 to 15%. It is said that it takes 21 days to create a habit. So my hope is that every time these women see themselves in the mirror and read the affirmations, they will be reminded of the words in my letters, and by repetition, they start affirming themselves. And ultimately, they are a reminder of who they are, what they can be, and their past does not dictate their future. And maybe one day, they'll be standing in front of 5 judges, pitching their business plans because they believe they were created for more. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Maria. Judges, the floor is yours for questions.
So when you start selling these, where are you planning on selling them? And can you talk a little bit about maybe some marketing that you're planning on doing for that?
Yes, definitely. I plan on using the power of social media, creating Facebook page, Instagram. Also, I network with a lot of women in the community in churches, so I will be going to them. I know a lot of local Christian bands, so whenever they have concerts, I can also put booths so I can bring my product to the consumer and begin the word of mouth.
Curious in the kind of the deeper sense, I love the message behind the product. How do you connect the customer to that deeper underlying message? Does that make sense what I'm asking? So I'm asking you the shirts have meaning, and the meaning is tied to the letter. Right. So how does the customer like know and understand what they're buying beyond the shirt?
Well, my hope would be to start a website where it would have explanations what there is, and I will or initially guide them through that. And if I'm doing a one-on-one or a person, then I will explain what my business is.
Thank you.
So do you anticipate that most of your sales will be in person or online and you'll be shipping them?
I think it's going to be a combination of both. I think initially it might be in person because I will start with my friends and family, and then eventually with their help of social media, with their posts and their sharing, then it will be online as well.
Maria, I think the question I have is a little bit rippling off of a couple of the other marketing questions, and what I'm wondering if you can help me with is I see, if I didn't hear your story, I see a couple of shirts up here, and I think, oh, those are nice shirts. When I hear your story and what you're trying to do, I think I'd like to buy one of those shirts. So what kind of plans do you have to, in a very short, compressed amount of time when you're dealing with a potential purchaser or a wholesale purchaser, to market it in such a way that the message comes out right away and then the shirt sort of follows the message? That's what I see as maybe a challenge for you, but an opportunity to really bring home some sales.
Well, my plan would be the people that I network with, or the people that I know, they work with women already, or women or people in the church who already know women in this situation, or who were in my situation. So my plan would be to get the leads from them. And because I would know that that's something that they need, I will be able to come and emphasize with them, share one-on-one, and then bring the importance and the value of my shirts.
There are no further questions by the judges. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give Maria a hand. Ladies and gentlemen, Ivory Radford.
Hi, my name's Ivory, and I am the founder of Ivory's Delights. I started this bakery about 3 years ago when I was working a full-time job because I'm a single mother and I needed to find a way to make some extra money. I started doing both jobs for about 1.5 years, and I realized actually I'm pretty good at doing this. So why not take a leap of faith and leave my full-time job and do it at home and start taking classes here at the College of DuPage. Now, I want you to imagine that you were given the task of finding the cake and desserts for your mother's 50th birthday. Now, this is a big deal because you really want to impress your mom and all of her guests. So the only options that you have are your local bakery, and you go in, but you realize there's nothing in there that really catches your attention. So you thought maybe you could find a hobby baker at home, maybe a stay-at-home mom that just does it on the side. But the problem with that is she's not professionally trained and she might be a little unreliable. And the other option would be your local grocery store. We all have had cakes from grocery stores. They all taste exactly the same and they all really look the same. But these are your only options. So you go with your local grocery store to get your cake, and you decide to go with the hobby baker for the dessert table. So the day's finally here. You go to pick up your desserts. You get out of bed and you're super stoked. So the first thing you do is you get in your car and you drive 15 minutes to the hobby baker and pick up your desserts for the dessert table. And then you get back in your car and drive another 15 minutes to the local grocery store to pick up the cake. Now this is going to be the showstopper of the party, right? You open up the box. Your mom loves unicorns, but she doesn't love them this much, and this really doesn't even look like a unicorn. But the party starts in 2 hours. What are you going to do? There's nothing you can do. So you drive home and you set up your dessert table. And throughout the party, you start looking around and noticing no one's eating anything. And you start eavesdropping. And everyone's really disappointed because all the desserts actually taste really dry, there's no flavor, and you're super disappointed, and you're really disappointed because your mom's disappointed. So what a waste of time and money, right? So how can we fix this? Well, that's when Ivory's Delights comes into the picture. We're a one-stop shop bakery that not only specializes in custom-made cakes, but also a variety of other items. 77% of adults have hosted a party and will continue to do so. So you're not the only one that loves to host parties. And adults between the ages of 35 and 44 state they do not enjoy hosting parties because of the amount of stress and planning that goes into them. And 9 out of 10 of those adults say they feel successful when their guests are enjoying themselves. So how do we fix this problem? Ivory's Delights comes into play, and we are a one-stop shop bakery that supplies custom-made cakes. And not just custom-made cakes, but also custom-made cupcakes, custom-made cake pops, custom-made royal icing cookies, and yummy, delicious chocolate-dipped treats. Who are Ivory's Delights clients? Their income ranges between $70,000 and $90,000 a year. They're in their 30s, college-educated, married with children, and they would much rather hire a professional than to do it themselves. Now, currently, when somebody is interested in ordering from Ivory's Delights, they contact us through Facebook and Instagram. And it's been working fine for the past 3 years, and we are actually very busy. We book out about 2 months in advance. So if I were awarded the money, I would use the money to open up a website to make it more convenient for clients to contact me. And then I would use the remainder of that money to get myself into a licensed kitchen, because right now I do have to turn down some clients if there are parties, especially weddings, if they're at venues, because you need to be in a licensed kitchen to do so. Here are some of the reviews that I have on my Facebook page. This 5 out of 5 star review has been that way since the very beginning, and I plan on it staying that way for the rest of this business.
Tell me a little bit more about the kind of the transition need within the kitchen. So what's that going to look like in terms of a need to build out to a
commercial kitchen?
Yeah.
Okay, so currently I'm in a 1-bedroom apartment, so I do all this by myself. I do have a friend that comes and helps me once in a week, but I do it in my kitchen. So there are a few kitchens in the area that specifically are geared towards small business owners that are starting up, and they charge an hourly rate that ranges from $20 to $25 an hour. I honestly would slowly start doing that and just taking orders as they come for weddings when they specifically need someone that's in a licensed kitchen. So it would be just a few hours a week. Gotcha. And then once I'm done with school, I plan on getting out of my kitchen completely and going into the licensed kitchen.
Gotcha. I assume that most of your customers right now are word of mouth. If you're all social media, is that fair? Are they mostly word of mouth?
Yeah, there are a lot of word of mouth. A lot of it is, I do market myself on social media a lot. I post a lot of advertisements on a lot of local pages, and I have about 1,800 followers on Instagram and Facebook. So it's kind of fun because since I've had this business going on for 3 years, I've had people I'll be shopping for products at the store, and they'll ask me, "Are you baking?" I'm like, "Yeah," because I have 20 boxes of butter. And then I give them my card, and they're like, "Wait a minute, Ivory's Delights," and they recognize my name, and they're like, "We had some cookies the other day at the party," and then someone told me I have a friend that's a bartender, and one of the engagement cakes that I had up there, I made for them, and they mentioned me, and they were really happy with the cake. So it's kind of cool hearing stories when it comes to word of mouth, because it really does work.
You mentioned about a kind of a 2-month lag right now with an order. So how much can you scale, right? So if you grow, can you grow?
Oh, definitely. I definitely can, because right now I just have my one oven. So there's only a certain amount of cakes I can bake in one oven. But when you get into a commercial kitchen, depending on the size of the pan, you can bake several cakes at once. And they'll have a freezer where I can put the cakes in. So yeah, I definitely can grow. Eventually I would have to hire somebody to help me, or maybe my friend that helps me now, I could hire her to help me out. But eventually I would definitely have to start hiring some people.
Let's give Ivory another hand, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Auxilium is their company name, and it is Sadie Thompson and Lily Zuniga.
Thank you. How many people in the audience today have ever felt anxious? Alone? Panicked? Or maybe you just want a hug? Now, as somebody who has suffered from anxiety for most of my life, I totally understand. Hi, I'm Lily Zuniga. I'm the CEO.
Hi, I'm Sadie Thompson. I'm in charge of marketing.
And not on stage with us today is Jen, our operational technician.
And Blanca, who's in charge of finance.
And we are Auxium. So what we have created is a drug-free solution to anxiety attacks when they come, wherever they come. What we've made is a weighted hoodie that is entirely customizable to you. Using the same technology as the Thundervest as well as the weighted blanket, we've created scientific evidence that shows that this will be functional.
According to our article that we gave you on the second page, we discovered that scientists believe that the fabric of a weighted blanket that is used with our weighted hoodie is soothing and relaxing, and it reduces anxiety. And according to our surveys, we discovered that students believe that our transportable, convenient, discreet, and customizable product would help them relieve their anxiety as well. Our feature starts with a weighted vest that weighs between 4 to 12 pounds, depending on how tight you want the hug to feel. And the weight is distributed by plastic pallets through a pattern in the inside of the vest with a heart rate sensor on the inside as well.
So moving on to the outer layer, as you can see, this would retail anywhere from about 50 to 60 US dollars. The vest is connected through inner zips on each side, as well as the compression to make sure that it feels like a hug. Other features include these hidden thumb holes on the inside and a hidden breathing mask for hyperventilation, which are common during anxiety and panic attacks. Other accessories that we would really like to look into would be app compatible. So we would have a hidden pocket inside of the hoodie for screen time to just give yourself a break. So when people try to contact you, it sends them a message saying, I'm okay, or I just need a break right now, as well as soundproof Bluetooth earbuds to help block out the sound. One of our main features includes snap buttons inside of the pockets, which allow you to interchange accessories and whatever you need to feel comfortable and safe in that given moment.
We target towards young adults, the parents of young adults, counselors, teachers, pharmacists, and therapists. And we have two forms of segments, and they're both ages 10 to 25, and males and females that are diagnosed with anxiety and those who are not diagnosed with it. We have more of indirect competitors such as fidget toys, weighted blankets, medication, meditation, and oils that you will sniff when you're like feeling stressed and they will relieve it. But our most direct competitor would be the standard weighted hoodie. But what makes us so unique is ours is for anxiety and depression, and the weighted hoodie is for autism and sensory disorders.
So moving on to the BMC that you all received at the top of the packet, what we would really like to focus on is our unique value proposition. So with other competitors, we've made something totally custom and unique due to the choices of weight, accessories, and eventually a compatible app, making Oxium the closest and most clear choice for anxiety. So moving on to the production cost, this cost was estimated through a contact who has worked in this field many times before, and estimated the production cost being somewhere around $32.50, being the whole material together, being accessories, the vest, and the hoodie all in one joint package. Moving on to the selling price, this would retail for approximately $100, making our gross profit $67.50. Now, if we can sell our goal of 500 hoodies this year, we will have a total gross profit value this year of $33,750.
For the future, we plan to use the funds to get a legal structure for our company and a patent to protect our company. And we're in contact with a lawyer for school to get that on file. And we plan to launch our ideas through the Glenbard News and their website, as well as ADDA News and their website. And we will use social media as well, such as Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Something else that I would like to touch on would be manufacturing. Something else that we would do with these funds is that we currently have contact with manufacturers in China who have agreed to help us produce prototypes as well as the future products itself. So once we would get the funds, we would be able to start producing and really hit the ground running with this product. So in conclusion, Oxium's custom features and scientific design creates a discreet and fast solution to anxiety whenever and wherever you need it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies. Judges.
You said you have not yet been able to secure prototypes. Have you been able to do some on-ground market research with folks who would be potential customers to
Yeah.
be able to explain this to them without something for them to touch?
Yeah, what we've been doing is we've been taking surveys all around the school, as well as our target audience, the users being teenagers in the area, those who we know suffer from anxiety, everything like that, to make sure that they would be willing to use this product, and if they think that it's something that could help them. You know, showing them these images, helping them understand more our idea, and what it really is, what it would be like. And so far, all we've gotten is positive response. So once we get that prototype, I'm really hoping that it will just keep getting better.
So when you say you've gotten positive response, can you give us any idea whether you've gotten a response that would suggest that somebody's going to buy it?
Yeah, it
Okay,
was
yeah.
like on the survey, we've asked how much would you be willing to pay for this product? Would you be willing to pay for this product? And again, most of the responses we got were, yes, I would be. Those who were suffering from anxiety said, yes, I would purchase this.
And the counselors and parents that also were having the survey, they agreed that they would buy it for their daughter or, the buyers, they would buy it for their daughter or son. So.
Thank you.
So I know you mentioned sourcing in China. Is that because with the technology it can't be made here, or is it possible to make it here at a smaller scale to start out?
I'm sure that looking into it, we could have possibilities to make it here, like locally at first, but due to the contact who I mentioned earlier, having connections with manufacturers in China, it really seemed like it would probably be the fastest, most cost-effective option as far as getting a prototype here. In the future, local sourcing, I think, would be really ethical, and we should definitely look into that as far as manufacturing goes. But to get a prototype, to make sure that we know what we're doing, what we're getting into, to have more of that hands-on experience, I think that it would be really nice to have something that seems really, really professional, like getting that in.
What's your goal for like the supply chain of this product? Like, do you want to license this eventually? Are you planning, do you want to handle it all within the company, the distribution, the sales? Do you have a goal with that? Or is it kind of whatever opportunity comes at this point?
Okay. So as far as like continuing on with like sales and things? Okay. So what Oxium wants to do is we would like to create like accessories, making sure that like people are continuing to buy that. Really sourcing through like our own website, our own brand, kind of making sure that everything stays in like one kind of body.
Judges, if there are no further questions, ladies and gentlemen, let's give these ladies a hand.
All right, hi everybody. My name's Ryan Howard. Just a little background. I'm a sophomore over at Willowbrook High School, and I actually was introduced to this contest due to my entrepreneurship teacher, Miss Anderson. And you know, she encouraged me to join this, and you know, now here I am with my business idea. So allow me to introduce you to my product. So the portable trash pouch, in short, is a reusable trash bag that you can carry with you anywhere. So let's say you're a hiker, you're on your favorite hiking trail, not a trash can in sight, and you decide to take a drink of water or eat a granola bar, something that will make you have waste at the end of consuming it. So basically, when you have that and you just have the wrapper, you can either put it maybe in your backpack, in your pocket, or worse yet, you're going to throw it into the environment and litter. We clearly do not want that. So what the portable trash pouch will do, it'll be probably attached to your pants, you know, like in a belt buckle or something like that. You'll be able to open it up, place it in there, and then you'll be able to empty it out at the nearest trash can when you pass by it. And let's say, you know, it starts to get a certain odor. You know, trash has a certain odor. Luckily, the portable trash pouch is washer safe due to the polyester material that it's made of. And this product in general should reduce people from littering. It should encourage them to save the environment and not litter in general. And you may be asking, this seems a bit excessive, why should we have a separate bag just for this? This seems a little excessive. So actually, I think the world can actually benefit from this product, specifically state parks and national parks. Yellowstone National Park spends over $500,000 just to remove 3,000 tons of garbage. Denali National Park in Alaska spends $75,000 to remove 140 tons. Even Starved Rock, our state park over here, these are actually pictures from Starved Rock. These pictures were taken a couple of years ago, but I've actually been there last month, and it really hasn't changed, especially in the most popular spots. This is an unsustainable rate that we're going at in terms of littering, and as population grows and as more people visit these parks, the amount of trash there will slowly grow as well. And with the portable trash pouch, we're trying to lower these numbers, and we're trying to preserve these places for future generations to come and admire. So I already mentioned hikers. I kind of split the target market into three main categories: environmentalists, hikers, and travelers. Really anyone who's involved with the environment. I believe this can work in a multitude of situations. So I would say the age fluctuates a bit. So anywhere from 24 to 50 years old, but again, that could fluctuate. So our competition, definitely our biggest competitor is the Chico bag. They're definitely the most similar to us. On screen, you can see different products that they make. The biggest difference is that we are targeting more people that are in the environment, hiking and just camping out or doing whatever in the environment. They more go towards people who are maybe grocery shopping, or you can see they make backpacks towards students and people who are buying produce. There's more of a different market there. And I think that due to those different target markets, I think we can coincide with each other. I don't think there will be much competition there. So why do I think this business will be successful? We're not only trying to make this a successful business. We're not only trying to make money. We're trying to solve a current problem. This is littering is a very big problem for the environment. It could cause global warming and all this other stuff. And also the product, I think, is very practical. We're trying to keep it washable. We're trying to reuse the product. And yeah, so that's why I think the business will be successful. And finally, if I were to win this contest and get the money, it would definitely go towards manufacturing and distribution, because I will admit I am a bit ignorant when it comes to that. But I do understand it can be difficult and expensive. So that is the portable trash pouch. Thank you for listening to my presentation, and if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
So Ryan, how do you plan on potentially marketing this to people who are, consider themselves to be environmentally conscientious and currently go to the store and they use the trash bag, they use the shopping bags that they get as trash bags and they reuse that. How do you plan on making this a necessity for them?
Yes, that's a great question. I definitely think that once again, I don't think this is going to be a shopping bag. I think this is more going towards the environment. I think that we'll advertise towards people through social media and just explain the fact that this can reduce littering. And like I said with the target market, I think that people will understand this. Instead of taking their plastic bag from Aldi or any grocery store, and throwing that out, they can take the portable trash pouch and just throw stuff in there instead. And then, it's reusable. So it promotes using that more than a regular grocery bag or a regular trash bag, if that answers your question. Yeah.
Thank you.
Do you have a prototype of what this will look like yet?
Unfortunately, no. This is primarily an idea. Yeah. But if you're curious, I would have about two sizes. I would definitely have a medium size, basically like the size of a regular grocery bag. And then I would have a larger size. And these are for more big trips, like camping or something, stuff like that.
Ryan, have you done any more thought in terms of design? Would it be something that would attach to a belt, or would you tie it around your waist, or what are your
So
thoughts?
basically, the plan would be to have like a carabiner and just kind of like attach it to one of your belt loops. So yeah, and then obviously there's always an option to carry it if you prefer.
Where do you see this selling? Online primarily,
Yeah.
in stores, and if so, what kind?
That's a great question. Definitely online, but I think a great, like as like going down the road as we expand, I think getting this in like something like Dick's Sporting Goods in like more of a camping section, environmental section would definitely help the growth of the company.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a hand for Ryan Howard.
Hello everyone, my name is Jared Galler, and I will be introducing my product InvictaSafe. So essentially what I'm doing with InvictaSafe is revolutionizing your classic gun safe. Now when you think about a classic gun safe, you tend to think about a small black box that usually hides under the bed, just sits there and never sees the light of day. The problem with this is that many people take pride in their guns, whether it's a relic from an old war, whether it's a police officer and it's his gun that he uses, or someone who's in the military. People take pride in their guns and they want to show them off. The problem with this is that there are displays out there, but they're not safe. And so what we have done is taken the advantages of a regular safe and we've added the benefit of being able to put it on display. So one of the needs is protecting children. So in a home of a gun owner, they may have their gun under their bed and drawer, and a child could easily get to this. Nearly 3,000 children are killed on accident every year. And lastly, our other need is the quick access to the weapon in the event of an emergency. So instead of trying to look for it, trying to find it, you know exactly where it is, you run over to it, unlock it, you're good to go. So our target market mainly consists of gun collectors, gun enthusiasts, police officers, military, ex-military, competitive shooters, and the families of these people who will use it as a gift to our target market. And I want to talk about the size of our target market. There are 120 million pistols in the US. If we were to sell to 0.01% of our target market, just the pistols alone, we're a multi-million-dollar company. There's 210 million long guns in the US. We plan to make a larger size. And another one of our avenues of marketing is going to trade shows. As you can see in the photo, it's a picture of the NRA annual event where there were nearly 90,000 people. Our competition, on the bottom left, it's their classic safe, and on the right, you have two different displays. They're outdated, not as visually appealing, and the two on the right are extremely unsafe. It's a wooden box and a glass box. Anybody could get into that, especially a small child. So our business model, they're about $350 to $400 to make. We sell them for about $1,000 on retail, and that's without the added options of connection to your home alarm system, GPS tracker, dehumidifier, interchangeable frames, combo lock, fingerprint lock, and engraving on the glass. We plan to expand through 4 avenues: e-commerce, Amazon, go to trade shows, and we want to advertise to smaller retailers because the big box retailers, they have kind of difficult contracts for us smaller companies. So we want to go to smaller retailers first and then expand to the bigger ones. We're initially going to launch with the pistol safe. Within 4 months after the launch, we will have a long gun safe. And we want to eventually undercut with a cheaper version to go towards the lower end of the market because not everyone can afford a $1,000 safe. And eventually, we want to go after the non-firearm market where people would just want to put their valuables on display. So what I plan to do with $2,000 is buy advertising space on Google. So when anyone types in gun or safe or anything like that, we will pop up. And these are a couple pictures of real guns inside the safe. And I'll show you some of the technology behind it. So the lights turn on the front, under the frame, which is interchangeable. It's connected by Velcro. Under this, we have 12 gauge steel on the front of it, 14 gauge steel all around the sides. We have a cam lock, which is regularly used on gun safes. So you open it up. We have 1/2-inch polycarbonate bulletproof glass, so no one will get into it. Something that we take pride on is our customized latch. This latch is commonly used in car door locks, and we have a patent-pending box within a box technology, so you're able to hang it up, put whatever you want, whether it's ammunition or important documents around the sides, and you're able to close it and enjoy the LED lights, which are remote control. Thank you.
How did you get the prototype made?
So we went to a metal fabricator and we told them what we wanted. We kind of drew up basically what we wanted, and then they sent us CAD/CAM drawings, which is like on the computer, like exact drawings. And we like edited it, worked with them, and finally made it.
Kind of adding on to that, who will be making these? Will it be a local manufacturer?
Yeah, so right now we're working on engaging with a metal fabricator out of Romeoville. We want to do it locally just so like we're there, we can see the process, we're able to talk to them if there's any issues. And we don't want to go to China or out of country because while it may be cheaper, China could take the idea and sell it out the back door. So we'd rather just stay on top of it within the US.
Jared, do you have any thoughts on your typical customer, where they would want this to go? Would this be in the bedroom or living room?
Typically, it'd probably be in the bedroom because it depends on the customer, really. If they want to show it off to everybody, in their living room. If they want to take their pride in it and enjoy it and look at it, probably in their bedroom.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give Jared Galler a hand.
Hi everyone, I'm Ashley Spratt. I'm a wife, a mom, employee, student, entrepreneur. By a show of hands, how many of us hate being sick? Raise your hand again if when you're sick, you do anything to try and feel better as soon as possible. Me too. I have 2 small children, so germs are inevitable in my house. I can't stop myself or my children from getting sick, but I can try my hardest to make their immune system the best it can be. My product is meant to do just that, an easy, accessible way for adults and children ages 1 and up to consume nutrients. My business is called Spratt's All Naturals. My product is elderberry syrup. What is an elderberry? An elderberry is a dark berry that comes from a European elder tree. Elderberry is used for many reasons, but especially for its antioxidant activity, ability to boost immunity systems, coughs, cold, flu, bacterial, and viral infections. It's difficult for holistic remedies to be recognized, but elderberry has been. Here are some examples. Dr. Albert Gross, Chief Medical Officer of St. David's South Medical Center, stated in an interview that elderberry in particular has been the subject of a number of studies recently that shows that it can actually decrease the duration of symptoms of the influenza virus. WebMD states on their website, taking a product that contains elderberry juice and echinacea also seemed to relieve symptoms and reduce the length of time the flu lasts. It has also been proven in other studies, as well as WebMD recognizing that it's been compared to the prescription drug Tamiflu. Unfortunately, raw elderberries are not safe for consumption raw, so it's not something that you can just pick up from the grocery store. The berry needs to be cooked thoroughly in order to be safely consumed. One of the easiest way to get these great benefits is to make a syrup. The syrup consists of elderberries and other immune-boosting ingredients to make a tasty, thick liquid. The liquid is packed with many nutrients that the daily dose for an adult is 1 tablespoon and for a child 1 teaspoon. It isn't easy to consume immune-boosting foods, which is why adults and children turn to supplements and other resources for concentrated nutrients. My product is just that, a single dose that adults and children love the taste of. Why my product over commercial products? My product is locally made. My product is made right here in DuPage County. My product contains local raw honey that's purchased right here in DuPage County. Commercially made elderberry syrup does not contain raw honey, so it does not have those benefits. Raw honey has antibacterial and antifungal properties, which are great when you're fighting any type of virus. My product does not contain fillers, preservatives, or added sugars, which some of the other competitors have. A lot of the other competitors have fructose listed as a main ingredient, which is counterproductive when you're trying to fight a virus. My product does not need extra additives because it's flavorful on its own. My pricing is a huge cost savings from commercial products. My product is a 16-ounce bottle that costs $26. Commercially made products for the same 16 ounce would be roughly about $40. Where can you buy my product? My product is ordered directly from my website. It is bought and paid for prior to being picked up. I have partnered with a local certified kitchen right here where pickup is available during business hours, making it convenient for the working adult and parent. I'm also in talks of having other local pickup options scattered throughout DuPage and Cook County. What I've done to make this happen is a lot of things. I've completed a Surf Safe Food Protectors Management course, which means I can operate by myself in any certified kitchen in Illinois. I've been working closely with the DuPage County Health Department for months to make sure I've met all legal requirements to sell my syrup. My paperwork has been submitted and I've currently created an LLC. I have an insurance policy ready to go to make sure my business is properly insured. I have a graphic and web designer that are designing my website, social media page, and product label. Another main component is what I've done differently is that I have had lab tests done on my product. My product has been checked for pH level, water acidity, yeast, and mold. And that is something that I would like to continue to improve on and get further testing so I can determine the longevity of my product. When I'm awarded this prize money, I intend to use it to grow my product. I've already invested a couple $1,000s in my own money, and I would like to use additional money to get more testing done. I would like it if I can make it to the wholesale market, but to make it in the wholesale market, it does require expensive testing to make sure that the product is safe and that the shelf life is suitable for that market. In closing, let me ask you again, how many of us don't like being sick? Please raise your hand. Raise your hand again if you do anything to boost your immune system. Please support me in helping me bring my product to the community so I can make a difference.
Ashley, I've got two questions for you. The first one is, how long does a 20-ounce, you said 20-ounce bottle?
16 ounce.
Oh, 16 ounce, I'm sorry. How long does that last one person?
So it depends if you're an adult or a child and if you're sick. The maintenance dose is 1 dose a day. For an adult is 1 tablespoon, and for a child is a teaspoon. You'd get 96 teaspoons out of a jar or 32 tablespoons out of a jar. It has been recommended that if you are sick, you can take it up to 4 times a day. So then it obviously wouldn't last you as long.
Perfect, awesome. And then my second question is, how did you get to the pricing that you did when your product seems to have a lot more natural benefits than the competitors,
Yeah.
but it's very significantly less expensive? And so I'm wondering maybe what the thought process was behind there, and if there's a reason you picked the $26 price point as opposed to boosting it up a little bit.
I've actually gotten that question a lot. And to be honest, I was never really in this to quit my job and to create a business. I was actually purchasing the product. It's a topic of conversation amongst us moms, or oh, whose kid's sick now? You know, you can't go out on that play date because one of the kids are sick. So I was actually purchasing it. I was purchasing a product similar, and she was selling it to me for about $55. And at the time, it was just something my husband and I couldn't feasibly afford. So at the beginning, I wasn't really in it to make all that much money, and I was making it out of my home for family and friends, so that's what I charged them. But getting into this process and realizing all of the extra costs that I've had, that is something that I can revisit it, but I feel that my pricing is a fair price.
Perfect, thank you.
Ashley, you said you've been working with the DuPage County authorities to make sure you meet all the requirements. Do you currently meet all the requirements?
I do,
Okay,
yes.
thank you.
All they're waiting for is my graphic designer. I've been a little picky on my label, so we've been trying to get my product just right before. But yes, everything is approved.
Mention a lot of local sourcing of the material that's going into it. So as you start to think about scaling and volume increasing, you feel like you have local supply chains that will be able to keep kind of delivering on that promise?
I do. I buy dried berries actually wholesale. They do have a limit, but it's 50 pounds a week, which is a lot of berries. I can get a lot of juice out of that, and I've actually partnered with a local farm on the honey, and when I was producing it prior, I was buying about 10 gallons at a time. So they have met my demands for everything, and they have their own bees on site, so it's worked out really well so far.
Thank you.
And I actually, I did bring a sample, and you guys have little cups in front of you if you guys do want to taste it. I'd be happy to share that.
Ashley, any plans to go into retail establishments or
Yes.
farmers markets?
Yes. So my product is a TCS, so it's a temperature control, so it has to be refrigerated. Farmers markets I can do as long as I have, refrigeration or cooler. I've been working closely with the wholesale part. That is a different, DuPage County has different health departments. One is for wholesale and the other is direct to consumer. So I've actually been working with both of them on that. There are more requirements to go wholesale, but my end goal, I believe, my product is a perfect product for Whole Foods, Fruitful Yield. I really think I would make a great fit for that.
Let's give Ashley a hand.
Hi guys, my name is Rowan Al-Shafi,
And I'm Renee Ayala.
and we are My Jar of C.
So this here is a mason jar that we call My Jar of C. The reason why this jar is filled with trash is because this is trash that was actually collected from the reefs. As you guys know, there's a lot of trash out there that's ruining all the reefs, and it's something that's not going to go away. All right, we filled this trash jar as a centerpiece for your home. How we do this is you can actually watch us on Instagram Live and Facebook Live, and as you get to watch us, it will have a scan code where you can actually scan the jar, and that jar will take you directly to the video where we actually picked up the trash while we were in the water. You get to watch us actually do it, take it out, throw it out into maybe a garage floor or whatever, dry it out, make sure it doesn't mold, and then we neatly put it in a jar and we send it to the consumer or the person that asked for the jar. It is meant to be a centerpiece, so you guys can we do not want to give any more pollution. We don't want to give you any shirts. We don't want to give you any more paper. We don't want to give you any bracelets. We are zero pollution. Okay, so we're actually taking these jars that were donated or took from recycling, and we stuff them with actual trash from the jar. You can when you purchase this for $15 or more, you can actually see what you did with your contribution and come back and watch it every single time.
Awesome. So what is the problem? Well, we are all here today to pitch or to listen to pitches. Everyone wants to create the new thing, the new app, the new technology, or whatever it may be. But we tend to selfishly neglect what is actually going on, the base issue. In other words, we need to save the effing planet, right?
So at the current time right now, we know that there's a lot of trash out there, and the problem's not going to go away. We recently joined up with with another person here from DuPage, who actually helps me, her, both being scuba divers. We love the ocean, and we can guarantee if you guys ever took a vacation, and went back to it a few years later, it probably doesn't look the same. Am I right? Okay. So with that said, there's about 300 million tons of produce each year. Only about 10% of plastic produced gets recycled, and the rest of it goes into trash and ends up in the ocean. it's a problem, and it's just it is very difficult to take care of. And what we want to do is just to make sure that you guys can actually see the product at home. We don't know how to take care of it quite yet, but if we can actually take it out instead of giving you more shirts, more bracelets, it's just gonna end up back in the trash anyways. Why do this? We're working with Jim Elliott, who's with Dive Heart. We just recently he actually teaches people with disabilities how to scuba dive. And guess what? They are more than willing to do this. Not only do they put their hearts and soul into this, because there's a lot of things that they can't do, but now Jim Elliott will teach them how to, how to have a new superpower, which is learning how to dive. And with them, we actually get to pick up trash and sell it to you guys as a donation for $15 or more.
So, who are we targeting? We are targeting scuba divers and individuals who have a history of taking action with the preservation of the planet, and individuals who are following eco-friendly pages on social media already. So with this, we get to target a wider branch of people, disregarding age in general, just people who actually care about cleaning up the ocean, not only the ocean, but the entire planet itself.
So our competition, I don't think we actually have a competition, because I welcome the competition. There cannot be enough competition in the space. There just can't be. So this is our ocean cleanup, but right now we really want to join up with anybody who's willing to help us out, because we know that our competition, the more competition there is, we're just going to keep getting better. And right now there's a lot of bracelets, but they end up back in the trash, and that's the problem. I want to take it out, and I want to give zero pollution back into the earth, and I want to eventually start a trend where we can get with people. We're starting here in the Midwest. People used to say that, oh, you can't do it out of the Midwest. Well, guess what? PADI, which is the world's biggest organization for scuba diving, started here. Jim Elliott started here. And so it's definitely not an impossible project. Instead of being a competition, I want to join with everybody else.
Agreed, and by looking at our competition, we can see what they've done right and what they've done that has not worked, and we can make that work. What are we gonna do about this? Well, we as a team, we're gonna gather volunteers everywhere, whoever's willing to help us out, and we're gonna travel globally to scuba dive and to save oceans around the world. We are going to distribute 0% repollution, which is going to help massively with the issue, and we're going to get the hard-to-reach places that technology can't really reach.
The issue with that is that we have a lot of companies that can clean up the top of the ocean, a lot of companies that can clean up the bottom of the ocean. But that centerpiece is really hard to take care of, and it takes very skilled scuba divers to get to those reefs. So what we do is we actually put our labor into actually picking up the trash and gathering it with our hands that can be contaminating our corals, which are the trees of the ocean. There's no technology out there that can do that quite yet. And a lot of these companies that are cleaning the top of the ocean have nettings, which are also killing the life in the ocean, which unfortunate that we're trying to do something good, but at the same time we end up kind of hurting it.
So who's going to help us out? Well, we've previously mentioned Dive Heart, Bottoms Up Scuba, which is located currently in Indianapolis and Florida. And you guys are going to help us as well.
So we want to show the power of DuPage to everybody around us. This is a very big deal for us because we want to show what we can do. We have used all our resources, especially our entrepreneurship club, our classes, just so we can make this project. We've even made this project a part of our homework, which, and the only reason we did this so we can get an edge on this and we can really quite figure out what to do. With this. We've used all of the resources that DuPage has to use us, and all we're doing is asking for your blessing to keep going. We want to grow this and make sure that this becomes a possibility. And there's a lot of people out there that are more than willing to pay $15 more to send this to your home, so you can actually have the jar and watch it do it. And not only that, but we got the people at Dive Heart very excited. And keep in mind, a lot of them may not have a full working body like us, but they're more than excited. So if they can do it, why can't we?
We are My Jar of Seed. Now let's save the effing planet. Thank you.
So help me understand what you would do with the money specifically.
Part of it, we want to use it. To be for us to be able to travel the world, so we can travel the world to make an income out of it and grow this company. One of our biggest goals is to travel and try to grow this as a company. We already have the possibility for global reach with one of our companies that we're currently working with. And we want to donate 25% to Dive Hard, because I believe that's a great organization, and I don't believe in keeping things from always keeping things from myself. I believe the more you give, the more you will receive.
That's true. And also with the money, what we're planning to do to advertise as well, we are going to use Google advertisations. We're going to use Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.
Talk to me a little bit about, so you mentioned there's other products like bracelets and things that are made of things that are pulled from the sea.
Oh, wow, yeah.
What happens when someone redecorates or they downsize and they're getting rid of the jar? What happens then? Because at some point that's inevitable.
See, I love that question.
It's a great
this
question.
And this is the biggest, we don't know what to do, okay? I don't know, I don't have the answer. But what I can do, I can postpone it. Okay, the reason for this is because we don't know there's people with billions of dollars out there that can't even figure this out. So if I can just take it out of the trash and people will keep it as a centerpiece, I mean, I hope you never throw this away. I hope if you paid $15 for a donation or more, that you keep it at home and see the contribution that you once upon a time did.
Right.
That's the whole point, is to keep the jar as a centerpiece and understand that you did this donation. You can scan it and watch the videos when we actually put our physical labor, or whoever did, put your physical labor to actually grab all of this, dry it out, put your hard labor into it, maybe even risk your life, to take this jar and put it neatly, in a jar so it makes a nice, beautiful centerpiece.
Yep, and to piggyback off of him, what we're planning to do eventually is to pretty much go to recycling companies and figure out what to do. So if somebody does tend to want to throw it away or whatever, we're going to have an option where you can actually send it back to us, and then we can take it personally to a recycling place so it doesn't get back into the ocean, because our number one goal is to provide 0% repollution. Hope that answers your question.
Yes, thank you. Awesome.
So I just want to make sure, are you looking at this as a not-for-profit?
That's a great question. It's not a non-for-profit, but I feel like that's just contradicting itself, because all the money that's coming towards us, it's going to be spent on us traveling to the ocean so we can actually provide this service. The rest of the money, most of the donations actually are going to go to Dive Heart, as he 25%, sorry, are going to go to Dive Heart as well, and Dive Heart is a non-for-profit.
Right.
Yeah, so it's not, we personally are not a non-for-profit.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give them all a hand. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the presentation portion of the COD pitch contest. Bev Carlson, would you please come to the stage? Let's give Bev a hand. Listen, everything that you see here, the framework, the awards, everything has been, again, the brainchild of Bev Carlson. So Bev, kudos to you for this, and thank you for handing out the prize winnings in just a little bit as well. So, is there a drum roll? Can we do a drum roll? You guys are real serious about that, aren't you, huh? With the third prize of a $500 College of DuPage scholarship, it goes to, let me get my, Jared Galler and Invicta Safe. Let's give Jared a hand. Ladies and gentlemen, with our second prize of $1,000, it goes to, can I get a drum roll again? Like the best drum rolls I've ever heard. Jonathan Arnold and Jack Young from Ground Coffee Compost Soil. And now, for the moment we've all been waiting for. Ladies and gentlemen, a drum roll from everybody, please. With our number one prize of $2,000 goes to Ashley Spratt and elderberry syrup. This concludes the COD Pitch Contest of Fall 2018. Thank you all for being great participants. Thank you all for being great supporters. And we look forward to doing this even better next year. And let's give our judges a hand, folks, once again. Please be safe, please be warm, and thank you for coming to the College of DuPage. Have a great evening.